So the first thing is, whether you're a health professional or a service provider working at a hospital, at a community-based clinic, or at a refugee resettlement agency, you need to realize that you are interacting with individuals who have likely been subjected to profound trauma. And you need to be thinking about this. And you need to learn how to take an empathic and an appropriate trauma history, and when it's appropriate to do so, and to identify the health consequences of that. So the first thing is to be aware that trauma, profound trauma, is out there and that it needs to be addressed. It's really important to work to build bridges with the different care providers from the different dimensions of health: medical, mental health, social, and legal service providers, and doing the best you can to communicate.
Set up expectations, realistic expectations, that you will always be honest with the torture survivor, that they can trust you. Trust is something that has been fundamentally broken in the torture survivor. Why should they trust you? So it's really important that every refugee service provider know that I am the first person that can positively impact this torture survivor to help them on their healing journey.
So we have a rule of thumb, in our clinic, like, we give the best to the least. This is what Julian Hart calls the inverse care law. Give the best to the least. Our clinic, if you came to our clinic, you would get at least as good care as the richest people going to the Massachusetts General Hospital or to Harvard. And we are part of Harvard, but we give the best care to the smallest, poorest, most damaged and disadvantaged person. This is our philosophy politically.
Two of the things that have proven to be very important for us here are focusing on safety and empowerment. We're often dealing with populations who have either lost their ability to trust, or at least it's been greatly compromised, who have been made to feel ultimately unsafe to the point where they've had to leave their homelands. And anything that we can do in a sort of a trauma-informed approach to help people feel safe, whether it's decorating our offices with artwork or pleasing, trying to do as much as we can with the physical space to make it a welcoming space for people, to do as much as we can in terms of helping to sort of guide them through what the processes might be, to sort of work against some of the notions of ambiguity or them not knowing what's coming next, to give them as much pertinent information about what our engagement can be and what the benefits will be. Also, we focus on empowerment. And again, for populations that have been violently and purposely disempowered, where they've had no control over what comes next, often no say in what their activities are or whatever it might be, I think the more that we can engage them in a collaborative sense, or even just helping them to prioritize what needs they would like to put first or how we would like to approach this. And that's something that is, I think, valid in terms of a therapeutic context, but it's also valid for someone that's coming into you and maybe you want to talk about job counseling, but they're having a really rough time at their house because they don't have anywhere to sleep and they're on the floor, and that's really interfering with that. And if that's where they are, then maybe that's where we need to interact and sort of give them a bit more control over the process.